Adam and I like going to video game swaps because we like to find a lot of really weird video game stuff and make videos on them.
Yeah, that's right. Not only that, but we do enjoy contributing to the gaming community as a whole, and it's a great way to do that. There's going to be a game exchange in London, Ontario this coming Sunday, which is February the 10th. It's called the London Game Exchange.
It's going to be at 536 Huron Street in London, Ontario from 11 a.m. to 4. We're going to be there bright and early in the morning looking for a bunch of good deals, and I recommend that you show up early as well, too.
Yeah, we hope to see you there.
It looks like a sizable Nintendo Direct might just be around the corner.
But why? It's only been like 149 days since the last proper Nintendo Direct.
Do you seriously count every individual day?
Hot take. We have had a very long Nintendo Direct drought. So the last Nintendo Direct we received was the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Nintendo Direct. That was November 1st. But the last proper Nintendo Direct, in that there was like a potpourri of titles to be, released and fawned over. That was the 13th of September. So it's been like 5 months since we've had like a decent Direct. And a lot of people are like, what's going on? Because there's so much news coming out of Nintendo, right?
Yeah, these Directs are the ones that we are most excited about because those are the ones that have the surprises and the crazy stuff and here's a game you never heard of and stuff like that.
Tell us, why are we giving you money, or how can we give you money for great titles? That's what I'm looking for. I want to buy stuff for my Switch.
It's something Sony really doesn't do, and Microsoft,
well,
they try.
They have events.
They've got events. They have things. It doesn't matter, though, because a really big rumor came from the forums of Reset Era.
Yeah, okay. So on Reset Era, there was a thread in the forums, and this is like the Nintendo Direct rumor thread. One specific member of Reset Era, King Zell, made a post and said, 13 is your lucky number, and I'm out. So a lot of people... a lot of people in the thread were like, oh my gosh, February 13th, this is going to happen.
And now this doesn't definitively state that the Direct is going to be on the 13th, but it heavily implies. The thread started to evolve a lot more, and a lot more people started having conversations. And then we started to get more rumors about games.
Yes, and this was from Zell again. So it was kind of like Zell didn't confirm that the 13th of February was the date, but Zell... had some titles to speak about, and that was basically confirming the previous post. So rumors are always to be taken with a grain of salt. We have said that a million times on the show, but King Zell has kind of talked about rumors in the past.
Got a good track record.
Yeah, exactly. So he had spoken about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee beforehand. He had spoken about like the Nindies Direct and Animal Crossing for Switch. All of these were kind of predicted before they were known or 100% confirmed.
Yes. So, now here's the thing that we really want to talk about the most in this video. What games were mentioned in the rumored posting? Now again, all rumored, but let's begin with the first one.
Yeah, okay. So the first one is a title that it was on the eShop in North America, I believe. It's Box Boy. There could be a new Box Boy game coming to the Switch. We don't know if these games that are being announced are coming to 3DS or Switch, or both. I'm assuming most of these are coming to Switch, because it sounds like the 3DS is not kind of getting as many releases.
I mean, we just recently heard that the 3DS, basically, they've cut their forecast for that by 50%. There's no way that they're trying to support the 3DS still when the Switch is on this huge growth.
So I think of all the games that we're going to talk about today, I think Box Boy is the one that could possibly be on the 3DS, because that
maybe like a dual release where it comes out on
it could be both, but Box Boy has consistently been on the 3DS. It was born there, and it's had 3 games since. So yeah, there could be a new Box Boy game coming to the eShop. Box Boy is a platformer / puzzler. It's made by HAL Labs. And yeah, it's quality. Those games are good. They're cute. You don't have too much experience with them?
Nope.
Yeah, they made an amiibo, Shane, for QB. It's a little box boy with tiny little legs, and he makes other boxes come out of him to solve puzzles and stuff. It's good.
Sounds fun. Now, one thing that Adam and I were talking about consistently after the cancellation and recreation of the new Metroid Prime game was that why don't we get a Metroid Prime trilogy? Now, in this rumor, and perhaps one of the most exciting things we want to talk about was that apparently a Metroid Prime trilogy is finished, is done, is ready to come out.
It's cooked.
And they're going to show it off in this direct.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be shown off earlier, but because of all the problems with the development of Metroid Prime 4, maybe there was some hesitation there and they wanted to reposition things. So yeah, it was from the senior editor of Game Informer. He had said, hey, yeah, Metroid Prime's done. I know it's done. You know, it seemed very, very positive about it. So yes,
point blank too.
Yeah, exactly. So this would be wonderful for the Switch, and you know, it quenched the thirst for Metroid Prime. People need to play these games. We've said this before. If you're going to have a Metroid Prime 4 somewhere on the horizon, and I think it's pretty far off, but hey, man, give us a little bit of time to go through these three, you know, sort of Prime legacy titles.
Now, the next game we want to talk about is one that I think a lot of people out there have been pretty excited about. The next installment of a proper generation input of Pokemon.
Yes, we've gotten Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and it's been divisive. I've had fun with it. Other members of our team have had fun playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but yeah, it integrates in some of the Pokemon Go you know, play mechanics, and that, I think, above all else, people have been like, what, you can't fight Pokemon with your Pokemon anymore? Only trainers Pokemon?
Let's just stop.
Motion controls?
Let's just not beat around the bush. Clearly the game is simplified, okay? That's what it is. Simplified access, simplified design. Many items were borrowed from other releases of other Pokemon games to create what they made. This is a Pokemon game most assuredly on a much smaller budget. Doesn't mean the game's bad, it just means that it was definitely made a lot faster.
Yeah.
This next Pokemon game is set to change things up and be an introduction for people that were into that new Pokemon game and people that like Let's Go. So
yeah,
you know.
I'm hoping that this is, because we're kind of seeing like Nintendo's formula. Like they're grabbing the cell phone people that are playing Pokemon Go, bringing them over, and they're trying to kind of combine the traditionalists with the new Pokemon fans, and they're hoping that will segue into this Gen 8 release of Pokemon. So whether or not it works the way that they want to, it's going to sell. Pokemon games sell, even if the releases are very close to each other, they still sell.
I mean, if Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee are anything to go off of, there's already an audience there that wants those things.
Well, that was the sort of testing ground that we were saying, right? We were like, oh, like, we don't know if this is going to work because they're not traditional Pokemon games. They worked. They sold extremely well. So a traditional Pokemon game coming out now, it seems like it's going to do quite well. I just wonder, like, okay, Nintendo has done things with some of their past IP where they've kind of re-envisioned them. Like we get a new sort of playing Zelda game. Super Mario Odyssey was very different from some of the titles beforehand. So I'm wondering if they'll maybe make this next gen Pokemon a little more risky as far as the formula is concerned.
Honestly, who knows? There's a lot out there, but one thing for sure, we haven't really seen any footage of the game whatsoever, and we really don't know what it's going to be like. So I'm hoping we see something that has more of a visual impact compared to the previous release. I'm hoping that we see something that kind of changes up the mechanics a little bit to just make it a little bit more fun, like a spin on things. And if we get that, I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited. But it's not the only old series they're bringing back.
What's that?
Apparently, we're going to be getting another Wii U port.
Another Wii U port? We were out. I thought we were dry.
No, apparently
I thought we had picked all the apples off the old Wii U tree.
Picked?
Yeah. Picked.
Pikmin.
Speaking of nature, Pikmin 3 is rumored to be a part of this Nintendo Direct, and it's a Wii U port. I think it's a very possible and very capable port, because when you think of the Wii U, you think about the gamepad and how some games are chained to the gamepad play. But Pikmin had several different ways to play, including the Pro Controller, your old Wiimotes, and the gamepad itself. So I think this could be a pretty easy port.
Now, ideally, I would like to see a Pikmin release that includes the first two games as well, because I've always wanted those games portable. I found that I found them to be very, very fun. You can play them with a GameCube controller. They introduced the motion mechanics with the Wii versions. Honestly, it's one of my favorite series on the Wii. It's one of my favorite series on the Wii U. It's a very, very fun collection of games. If we just get Pikmin 3, fine. I'm okay with that. But if you do that, you are firmly putting that last nail in the coffin on the Wii U. There really isn't much else you can grab from there.
I can think of one or two.
Okay, but it's getting to the point, right? Like, there's just so few you can go back to. So Pikmin 3 is definitely something I could see them doing. But again, something we're noticing with a lot of this list already is that they're taking game series we already know and maybe just briefly just hinting that these are just assets they already have that they're turning into a new factor. Pokemon is the most exciting by far because we have been led to believe that it is a new experience and it's not just a recreation of an older idea. But that might be wrong. However, though, the Wii U did have another game, and a lot of people liked it.
Oh, you already want to allude to the next game?
Sure, do it.
Oh, before we go there,
okay.
I just want to say really quick, Pikmin 4 was supposed to be in development for a long time.
Sure.
So a lot of people might be a little bit like, hey, shouldn't this just be Pikmin 4? So there are rumors that Pikmin 4, the development of it, much like what happened with Metroid Prime 4, hey, 4-4, the development has been restarted.
I could see that.
So, again, those are rumors, but this Pikmin 3 game could be kind of like a, here, again, have this, deal with this Pikmin, enjoy this, wait a little bit, and then Pikmin 4 might be somewhere around the corner.
We'll see. If they were to have released a Pikmin 4 right away, I think it would have been a mistake because everyone that bought the Wii U, the smaller amount of people that bought the Wii U, Pikmin 3 it didn't exactly light the world on fire.
We can account for 2 copies of that game being sold.
Yes, we can.
We both have Pikmin 3, and we both very much enjoyed it. But let's face it, yeah, not a lot of people have played Pikmin 3. And you're right as well. Like, the first and second Pikmin games, they need to be dabbled with as well.
Yep.
All right, so you wanted to move on to the next game?
Yes, I do.
And you're talking about Wii U games?
Yes, I am.
Okay, a lot of people really enjoyed a game on the Wii U, and they were thinking, assuming that there would be a port eventually, the rumor is that we're not getting a Wii U port of this title, we're getting a proper sequel.
Mario Maker 2.
Mario Maker 2. So Mario Maker 2... Oh boy. Okay, so whereas I said Pikmin 3 could be an easy port to the Switch, Mario Maker, not so much. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to me that they'd go directly to a sequel because we're going to have to see a complete rewiring of the mechanics of making levels in this game.
Yes. Now, what's interesting about this game is that it really worked in a very specific way with the controller for the Wii U gamepad and your screen, like the way it kind of interacted with one or the other, the ability to build levels really quickly. They took that exact same game, put it on the 3DS. In the 3DS release, again, you could point on things to build levels. On the Switch, you do have portability, you do have a touchscreen. However, when you're sitting at home, you aren't actually capable of touching the touchscreen. The screen gets locked away on the dock, and that's it. So they can't just port the game straight over. They would have to recreate things and change things. So we believe that's why they're making a sequel rather than a port, because there was a big audience there that liked it. The 3DS was pretty successful. Or the 3DS version was pretty successful. The Wii U version, despite the fact not everyone bought a Wii U, that was a very successful, very exciting release that people still stream to this day of brand new levels they're making. So Mario Maker 2 could be a continuation of that.
I gotta say, I always have to announce this. The 3DS version of Mario Maker has 100 Nintendo-created levels in it, and it's almost like another full 2D Mario game hidden within Mario Maker 3D. So if you see that for reasonably cheap, pick it up, man. There's a lot there. So yeah, there's a lot that needs to be rewired for Mario Maker. I'm hoping that the community aspects are better, because I remember that trying to find levels and stuff. It was here's my code, and insert this and yada yada. I would also love to see new assets brought into it. Could we see 3D Mario?
See, this is what I'm thinking about. If they're gonna make a Mario Maker 2, you're not just gonna reintroduce the same things you did in the first one. So, look, if we get a straight 2D port or not 2D port, a recreation or a sequel to the 2D version where there's more 2D levels, fine. I'm okay with that. But if you can make a 3D Mario game that allows us to make 3D worlds, come on. I mean, I would love to see a Mario Maker 64 in that concept. Yeah. A Mario Land would be interesting to see, so you can make Mario Land levels. Yeah. Something like that would be very well done. Or 3D World, 3D Land.
Yeah.
These ideas could be successful if they were to achieve it, but the complexity of making 3D levels is something that it's not a very typical thing. It could be done.
Yeah, I think if they did wind up coming up with some sort of 3D creation kit tool set, it could be like not just a big announcement, it could be enormous, right?
Yes.
Oh, hey, yeah, you remember Super Mario 64? A lot of people remember that game fondly. You can make levels now. I would also love to see like asset libraries from like the Game Boy games. That'd be kind of cool. Have old retro Game Boy style. Maybe Yoshi's Island, or even like a Paper Mario aesthetic. I mean, give us all the different skins and stuff.
There's
and
still 2D things that they could do, and I don't want to see them like throw away the 2D completely, because I still want that on the Switch.
Yeah.
But if they were to introduce some kind of 3D mechanics, it would be crazy, wild, and I'd be pretty excited to see it.
Speaking of 2D, I saved this for last because I thought this was kind of the craziest of the announcements, or rumors, I should say. These are not announcements, these are rumors, grain of salt, yada, 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 yada. Okay. The rumor is we're going to be getting a 2D Zelda.
Wow. So this is insane.
Yeah.
Okay, we know that the initial group of people that bought Switches basically bought it to play Zelda. That was the big title for the Switch. Everyone was excited about Breath of the Wild. To make a new Zelda game on the Switch makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of people there that would already want that stuff. Now, are we talking an entirely new creation of 2D Zelda? Yes. Or are we talking about the mythical idea of a 2D Zelda Maker?
Oh, yeah. That's one thing that I've been wanting since I saw Mario Maker. I was like, hey, man, it'd probably be pretty easy to make dungeons and stuff using a tool like that.
I think it would be.
We also saw like a Link Between Worlds. It's not necessarily 2D traditionally. It's like a 2.5D game. Could this be that being re-released? Or is this straight up like a 2D game? I would love it if, like, I don't think this is ever going to happen, but I would love it if they were like, hey, remember the old instruction manual from the first Legend of Zelda game? Yeah, all the art's going to look like that, and it's going to be in 2D, and everyone's going to love it.
I mean, look, there are a lot of great 2D Zelda games. Yep. I can think of a couple that I really enjoyed playing a lot, but just thinking of Four Sword Adventure, something like that being ported again and having those kind of releases, maybe if Nintendo really wants to save on budget, making a master collection of Zelda games that get released.
Of all the 2D Zelda games would be really cool. If they did like all the Game Boy, like Link's Awakening and the Oracle games and, Minish Cap.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I think with the Switch, you're capable of doing those things. So if they want to do it, that's a great thing. If it's an entirely new Zelda experience,
even better.
Also very good. Yeah. You can't lose.
Yeah. So there's plenty of rumors, and they have quite a bit of weight to them because of the people that are talking about these rumors over on Reset Era. I wanted to ask you, do you think a lot? Because who knows? They could announce more games. We don't know what could be coming from a direct that may or may not be coming on the 13th or 14th. Do you think they're going to possibly talk about some hardware? Because we've been hearing rumors about a slim Switch.
I think at this point in time, Nintendo could possibly announce just a tiny revision. I'm not talking about a mini Switch or anything like that. They could, but I believe you're going to see something like we're releasing a new model of the Switch that knocks down the cost of the older ones. Bigger storage space, maybe a longer battery life, a brighter screen, those kind of things. But I don't think they're going to reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. It is expected, or the rumor is that we're going to be seeing this, at least seeing it in the next fiscal year. So yeah, we may not hear about it in this direct, but we are hearing about like eShop gift rebates, gift certificates that are kind of sort of knocking down the price of the Switch right now, because you get like $35 or something.
Sure.
Yeah, if
you
buy Switch.
I mean, realistically, from what I've heard from people within the industry, people in the know, the Nintendo Switch has gone through several smaller internal revisions to fix little problems here and there. So I believe that seeing a new model come out that's just kind of internally reworked a bit, that might be a smart way for things to expand. And I think that should happen. I would love to see the Switch just drop down in price, the ones that are currently on the market, and make a much bigger storage space Switch, just a little bit more expensive, but the same sitting price as the Switch is right now, but just there, so people that want it can get it.
Yeah, or somehow getting a lower price is important too.
Yeah.
One last question. I want to get your opinion on this. Do you think we're going to see... Because we talk about the online functionality of the Switch all the time. Do you think we'll hear something about reworked NES online functionality? Do you think we'll get a Classics app? Do you think they'll kind of rework things in some way? Now would be a great time for them, because this to me this feels like a saving face direct. If everything that's rumored is being put out there, this could be really good for them.
I think it would be a smart idea for them to have some kind of service there where we can just buy the games. Look, if people want to spend a certain amount per month to get a collection of games streamed to them, that's fine.
Yeah.
But give the consumers the choice to purchase things, because the idea that they're not doing that is a little crazy to me. Because I think of it this way. If Netflix provided me with the option to be like, okay, you're streaming movies from us, but if you want this one movie after it gets pulled, you just have to pay us $5-10, whatever it is, and we'll give you that the license for that for life. I would probably do it with certain titles that I know I want to go back to again and again.
As far as we know, they're not pulling anything from their like NES service yet, but it's not to say that that couldn't happen in the future.
Yeah.
They're building right now, so you'd want something that's more confirmed to be in your like digital library forever.
Yeah,
which I
absolutely.
guess it makes sense. We want longevity.
It's just another option for consumers like us to spend money on products. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I think they should do it, but I don't know if they're likely to do it. That's just the way it is.
So, are you hyped to see what's going to happen next week?
I am pretty hyped.
What do you think? 75% sure it's going to happen. What do you guys think? Do you think you should be believing all these wonderful rumors?
Maybe just get a bucket of popcorn, sit by your computer, and wait for the day to pass. But I'll be looking forward to it. I'm giving it an 80%. That's where I'm going with this one.
I'm going to go 81%.
81%.
Because I just got to one-up you.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. But folks, are you excited for this? Do you believe it's going to happen? Let us know what you think.